has pitched 15 innings so far this year and allowed 5 earned runs. Against the Cubs last year, he was 2-2. De Jesus stepping in, hitting .310 for the year with 4 runs batted in. Lerch, a tall southpaw, winds the first pitch of fastball. Outside for ball 1, and the ball game is underway. His victory came here at Veterans Stadium in Philadelphia over the Cardinals. Gets the sign from Bob Boone, winds, delivers, strike right at the knees. John McSherry calling the balls and strikes tonight. Paul Runge at first base. Bob Engel at second. Jerry Dale at third. 1-1 pitch. Curve, and he's very high and away. In left field is Greg Luzinski. In center field is Garry Maddox. And in right field tonight is Jerry Martin. Wind up the pitch. Fastball, and he takes it inside of the letters to run the count to 3-1. At third base, Mike Schmidt. At shortstop, Larry Bowa. At second base, veteran Dave Johnson. And at first base, Cardenal with Boone, the catcher. Here's the pitch. Swung on a fastball, but he fouls back up out of play. Montreal, in case you missed it, a winner this afternoon. 5-3 over the St. Louis Cardinals. And the Expos now won 5 in a row and 9 out of their last 11. Rudy May. With relief help from Bonson getting that win. Fastball swung on. One hopper right in front of Cardenal. Junior's got it. Comes over, steps in the bag, tells his old teammates, you've had it. Fired one hopper right in front of him on that artificial surface here. Junior getting his first fielding opportunity tonight and getting an unassisted put out. That brings to bat Gene Clines, hitting .241 for the year. He's playing in left field tonight with Dave Kingman over at first base. Clines with 4 runs batted in, 1 out, nobody on. Lerch's windup. And a curveball misses outside. Pittsburgh has taken a 1-0 lead at Shea Stadium tonight over the New York Mets. Left-hander Jim Rooker against right-hander Pat Zachary. Here's the pitch. Fastball is high. Mark Littell, the losing pitcher for the Cardinals, came on a relief. And Rudy May, the winning pitcher, to even up for the year for the Montreal Expos. And one that's very high, right over the mid of big Bob Boone, comes back to the backstop. A little wild, 3-0. Roger Freed got a 2-run homer for St. Louis in the ball game, his second of the year, but it wasn't enough. 3-0 pitch. He takes ball 4 too low. So Clines coaxes a walk, and with 1 out, Bobby Murcer steps in, hitting .294 with 8 runs batted in. Cleveland today defeated Toronto 4-2 up in Toronto. Before nearly 11,000. Put the winning pitcher for the Indians over LeManchick, and Carty a home run for Toronto. First pitch, Bobby takes inside, ball 1. Jose Cardenal playing over at first base. Cookie Rojas played here for several years with the Phillies, coaching at first for the Cubs. A step and a throw by the left-hander over there. Clines having no trouble getting back. Down the line in both left and right field. It's 330 feet. 371 left and right center, 408 straight away, and a swing and a drive down the right field line, but he pulls it foul. Got out in front of that slow one just a little bit too much. Excellent lighting system here at Veterans Stadium. I'd say, Lou, this has got to be as good a lighting as anywhere in our league. Very fine. And a very, very smooth carpet. Oh, you got little patches of dirt around the bases. Mild at home plate. Other than that, it looks like a big billiard table. No score. Runner at first base. Mercer out of the batter's box, and big John McSherry dusting off the plate. A stretch and a fastball. Taken for a letter high strike. A good fastball. Ball 1, strike 2. Mercer again stepping out of the batter's box. The Cubs, of course, sporting the new road uniforms this year. Light blue with a wide white chalk stripe. Step and a toss over to Cardenal at first base. Clines tag. It was tagged on the helmet over there by Cardenal. fastball swung on. He fouls it. Back up towards our broadcasting booth, but just below it. And the count on Murcer. Ball one, strike two with one away. A late start to accommodate television network. Tomorrow night we'll be bound at more usual time. Kick in the pitch. Goes after a high curve, and he pops it up to the second baseman, Davey Johnson, calling for the ball. He's under it easily. Two-way. That'll bring up Dave Kingman, playing at first base tonight. His first start this year for the Cubs at that position. He played it a few times, of course, when he was with the New York Mets. Dave hitting .208 with a pair of home runs this year and 6 runs batted in. 3 of those half-dozen RBIs came on his last home run at Wrigley Field this week. He and Willie Stargell have hit more home runs here at Veterans Stadium in Philadelphia than any other visiting players. First pitch. Fastball way outside and low. Ball one. Both Dave and Stargell have walloped a dozen home runs here at Veterans Stadium. Stands straight away. Well back away from the plate. Lurch into the stretch. Kick comes. Play for the fastball. Swung on and he fouled it off the boom. And a good cut. Ball one, strike one. White Sox open their homestand tonight, entertaining the Detroit Tigers. Jack Bellingham, formerly with the Reds, going for Detroit. It's Ken Krabek for the White Sox. And they're happy to be away or off the road and back home. 1-1 pitch. Taken for a strike. Perfect. Just up the knees. While Lerch last year was 10-6, his earned run average was not all that good. 2 out, runner on, 1-2 pitch. Way outside with a fastball. 2-2 now. And against the Cubs a year ago, he was 2-2. Over the year, last year, Philadelphia had a big edge on the Cubs, but here in Philadelphia, the Cubs had the edge, strangely enough. There's a swing and a miss and one right up at his eyes, and Kingman is fast. Strikeout number 15 by Dave this year in 49 trips. Gene Clines, who had walked in the inning, is left stranded, no hits. And at the end of a half inning of play at Philadelphia, Woodie Fryman out to the hill, and he will be facing as his first opponent in the batter's box, the former Cub, Jose Cardenal. No score. With Woodie today, way over here from Chicago. He thought he had had good success in his career against the Phillies. But the official record shows that he's beaten them 3 times and lost to them 4 times. Made 1 start last year against them while he was a member of the Cincinnati Reds, had no decision. Looked like he was going to pick up his first win of the year earlier in the week. Left the ball game for relief help with a lead, but the Cubs couldn't hold on to it against Montreal. Here he is now, 0-0 for the year with 19 innings of work, 19 hits, and earned run average of just a shade over 4. At one game in which he was pretty wild. And for this season, he has walked 11, one of them intentionally, in 19 innings, struck out 8. Cardenal, batting against his old teammates for the first time. Been at bat 5 times with 1 hit this year and 2 runs batted in, and he takes the first pitch, a fastball high, ball 1. Junior still makes his home in suburban Chicago out at Northbrook. 1-0 delivery. Little guy takes a strike. 1-1. Perhaps his lovely wife Pat listening to the broadcast tonight. Wines. Veteran's next pitch at the outside corner on Cardenal. Looks a little unhappy with a call by McSherry. Looks down to third base coach Billy DeMars. Tony Taylor started his career in majors with the Cubs, coaching at first. And the pitch. Swung out, he got a piece of it as Fryman jammed him with it. Fouled it back. Ball 1, strike 2. Fryman's 4th start this year for the Cubs. Still looking for his first one of the year. This fellow bends down, gets his sign, starts the windup, the pitch. Swung out, bouncing ball to Manny Trillo at second base, gets it on a hit-high hop, throws over to Kingman at first base, and there's one away. Sorry to hear that Coach Joe Malpatano wasn't able to make the trip over here today. Still hospitalized in Chicago. Told that he has a chest congestion. We hope that he's not going to be in there very long. Larry Bowa stepping in, little veteran shortstop, hitting .265 for the year. 1 run batted in, batting right-handed. And he takes the first pitch, a ball outside a fastball. The right-hander, he has only 2 hits in 18 at-bats this year. Cruz in center field, almost straight away, fastball. Fryman misses hideaway, and Rader's going out to talk with him. Pretty good house here at the Vet tonight, even though it's a bit on the chilly side in Philadelphia. They were expecting a crowd of somewhere around 20,000. Now the windup in the 2-0 delivery, and Bowa takes one right at the knees. Ball 2, strike 1. Cup pitching staff has an excellent earned run average at this early stage of the season, 2.75. 2-1 delivery. Swung out, he chops one to the left side. DeJesus spares it. Long, quick throw, and he's got him on a close play at first base. Good stretch by Kingman. And, oh man, Louis really had to get rid of that one in a hurry.
Yes, noted the stretch by Kingman beat Bowa, because Bowa was down that line very well. And if you notice how those baseballs are bouncing on the turf, they're bouncing very high, and consequently, Ontiveros just missed getting that baseball. It would have been an easier play if he could have caught the ball.
He hustled over as quickly as he could, like dropping a rubber ball off a cement surface so far. Now Mike Schmidt stepping in, hitting .319 for the year, and the first pitch of the right-hander, a ball a little high. He has 2 homers, 10 runs batted in. Fryman's pitch to him is a ball a little bit low. One of the guys that Fryman is awfully hard to handle. Got to be very careful with it. He's hit awfully well against the Cubs over the years. 2-0 delivery. Swung on a miss. Last year, of course, he was out of action for a while. A bad hand. Fryman kept the breaking ball down to him. Lines in left field, Cruz in center, Murcer in right. No score. Bottom of the first, bases empty, 2 gone. And a fastball. He tried to hit that inside corner with it and missed. Ball 3, strike 1. In the on-deck circle, the cleanup hitter, Greg Luzinski. It was a frustrating weekend for the Phillies up in Montreal. There's a fastball too high for ball 4. And Schmidt trots on down to first base. You got to watch him. He's a good base stealer. Luzinski stepping in last year. The Bull hit .313 against Cub pitching. Hit 4 homers against the Cubs. Drove in 15 runs. This year, big fellow's hitting .290. 2 homers and 7 runs batted in. First pitch to him. Taken for a strike, breaking ball away from him at the knees. He's so strong, you can hit him on the fist, and he'll probably still dump it out of the range of any of the infielders. 0-1 delivery. Schmidt whacks that right foot just in the edge of the carpet. Now comes back a step as Fryman is looking down to get his sign from Dave Rader. Now Woodie into the stretch, looks directly at Schmidt at first. Comes to the plate, and Luzinski takes the ball inside at the knees. 1-1 on him. Well, they were swept by the Montreal Expos up there in a doubleheader on Saturday, a single game yesterday. No panicking feeling here yet. 1-1 delivery. The runner goes. They throw to first base. Kingman fires to DeJesus, and Schmidt is out. Caught him making his break that time, and a good move by Fryman, and Kingman's throw to DeJesus right on the money. So Schmidt officially caught stealing. No runs, no hits, and nobody left in the bases. At the end of one, no score.
I say, Father dear, you look a trifle under the weather. What's troubling you, old son?
Oh, every time I drive to the office, I get this terrible feeling of congestion.
I expect you also experience pains when you're filling up the old car, what?
Gas pains, quite. Not to mention the excruciating headache.
When you pay for parking?
Precisely. I just can't seem to get around anymore.
Nonsense. I'd suggest the RTA train. Just take it twice a day.
The RTA 3 times a day?
Twice, dear chap, twice a day. Yes, the RTA train relieves the congestion you feel out on the highway. Positively does away with parking headaches. As a matter of fact, depending on where you live, commuting on the RTA can actually save you as much as $2,000 a year.
$2,000 a year? Why, that's splendid.
Yes, isn't it? So buck up, Father dear, old chap. Take the RTA twice a day. You'll get around so much better.
Steve Ontiveros, hitting just 121 so far this year, will be leading off. Kept third baseman with a pair of runs batted in. Will be followed by Manny Trillo. It's good to see Trillo back in the lineup after a bout with tonsillitis. Then Hector Cruz playing in center field. I clue this is just an experiment for the night with Kingman at first base.
Well, I don't know. Of course, with the Buckner out to a bad ankle and bit there under the weather a little bit, I think it was almost a must for Herman Franks. And yet, he would say, well, this is an opportunity to put my right-handed hitters in against Lerch, putting Cruz in the lineup and Kingman at first and Clines in left.
I hope it'll work out all right. First pitch. Swung on. He chops one foul down the third base side. And we're slated to get another left-hander tomorrow night, another one the next night. So he may stay with it for a while. Veteran Jim Cott is going to make his debut, or scheduled to, here tomorrow night against the Cubs. It'll be his first appearance of the year. And then the veteran Steve Carlton is the probable pitcher in the finale here Wednesday night against Rick Russell. There's a pitch swung on, a bouncing ball to Bowa. Bowa moving to his left, gets it on a shoulder high hop, goes over to Cardenal, and there's one away. Shortstop to first, that brings up Manny Trillo. Hitting .316 now for the season with 4 runs batted in. Speaking of runs batted in, Rick Monday, not only with a great start, but the home runs, 8 of them. Record, by the way, for the month of April is 11 home runs. He's 3 away from that. Comes over the top of the curve, and it's in for a strike. He's driven in 19 runs, Monday has. And his batting average is .380. Not too bad a start. The curve a little low. Ball 1, strike 1. All slender left-hander. Delivers and he misses high. Ball 2, strike 1. 1 out, bases empty, no score. Neither team with a base hit yet, but each has had a base runner as a result of a walk. Phoenix Lowry replacing Amal Patano. Coaches the box at third. Fastball, and Lerch misses inside at the knees. Garry Maddox, 28-year-old veteran in center field, playing trio to pull just a little bit. Greg Luzinski, the bull, hands on his knees, looking out over his left shoulder, kind of faces his body towards the seats and left. There's a swing and a foul. Went after a fastball, fouled it back out of play. Gary Martin starting in right field tonight. Jake McBride hitting only .216. So Danny Ozark wanting to get as many right-handers as he can into the lineup. 3-2 pitch. Outside, ball 4. That'll bring to bat Hector Cruz. Before Cruz steps into the batter's box, let's pause a moment here for station identification. This is the WGN Chicago Cubs Baseball Network.
And this is WGN Radio, Chicago.
Water. Cruz has been at bat 20 times this season, has 6 base hits That's a 300 average. Right-hander is not yet batted in a run. Lerch's first pitch, and he takes a strike on the inside corner above the knees. Lerch, tall and lanky, and he's got a good arm. Just his second year in the majors. Good lead by Trillo at first base, way over in the carpet. Here's the pitch. That one, he turned over and misses outside. Ball one, strike one. Davey Johnson at second, shaded up the middle a bit for Cruz. And a toss over to first base to Cardenal. Puts the tag on Trillo. Well, they have a good conversation in Spanish over there. And the first base coach for the Cubs, Cookie Rojas, understands it well. Here's the pitch. Swung on a chopper to Schmidt. He'll go to second for one. Here's the relay by Davey Johnson. It's in time. And look at that Cardinal doing the splits over there as he stretched out to take the throw. The double play, the 14th of the year by the Philadelphia Phillies. And the Cubs yesterday, of course, saw the Mets in the first 8 innings come up with 5 double plays against them. And here in the second inning, no runs, no hits, and nobody left in the bases. We move to the bottom of the second at Philadelphia, no score.
General Finance, friendly Bob Adams.
Pete Scalero here, Bob.
Hi, Pete.
Bob, how many times did you want half of a ham sandwich, but were too busy to fold the ham?
What, Pete?
Bob, say hello to the inventor of the luncheon meat folder.
You mean a folder that folds the ham in half?
Not just ham, corned beef, bologna, pastrami.
That sounds terrific.
You know, Bob, the darn thing even works on mayonnaise.
It folds mayonnaise.
As soon as they work out one wrinkle, it's set.
Great. What's the
In the meantime, I've got a lot of personal bills piling up.
Well, a consolidation loan can turn those bills into one monthly payment, Pete.
Oh, there you go.
What's the one wrinkle?
And Bob, do you like tomatoes on your sandwich?
Love 'em.
Well, that's the wrinkle.
Oh, yeah?
It mushes them right up.
Well, I think people can fold their own tomatoes.
You think so?
Of course.
Oh, thanks, Bob.
You can always get a little help from a friend at General Finance. There are 70 General Finance Chicago area offices. Call General Finance's friendly Bob Adams to borrow up to $10,000. Call Andover 32020. Also an office in Elgin.
Cardinals losing up there at Montreal today. They blew that for 6 in a row. I don't think they've won a ball game since Fortune's no-hitter.
I don't know, but they've been in a slump, I'll tell you. And Montreal has been in reverse.
Yeah. Won today. They're 5th in a row at 9 out of 11. Their last loss, Montreal's, was to the Cubs in the first game of that set at Wrigley Field. Luzinski stepping in. Fouls the first pitch. Back out of play, a fastball. He was in the batter's box in the first inning after Schmidt had walked and was picked off by Fryman. With the Kingman at first to the Aces. Change of speed to that one, and he had him way out in front. A breaking pitch down around his knees, and he swung a miss. He was way out in front. Beauty. Davey Johnson in the on-deck circle. Fryman in the windup. Swung out and missed. That one exploded. Looked like it started around his letters and wound up at his ankle. How about that pitch, eh? First strikeout of the night. And his 9th of the season. That will bring up veteran Davey Johnson. Cubs didn't see much of him last year. But that's 3 times against the Cubs. He's 0 for 11 so far this year. But he has a run batted in. All right-hander. First pitch to him, a strike at the knees. Wind up the pitch, fastball. He takes and it just missed inside. 1-1. He erased Rogers Hornsby's old record a few years ago in Atlanta. Takes it, a ball inside. Remember, he hit 42 homers that year for the Braves as a second baseman. 2-1 pitch. That's too high. Ball 3, strike 1 on Dave Johnson, playing at second base tonight. He erased Hornsby's record for home runs by a second baseman in the majors for Bevan. Then he spent a couple of years over in Japan playing ball. This is Private. It started to go. Davey called time momentarily. Now he's back in. Fryman winds, the left-hander. 3-1 pitch. Strike called at the knees away. 3-2. Garry Maddox, the center fielder in the on-deck circle. Full count with the bases empty, 1 away, no score. Fryman winds, Johnson half swing, and he taps a little foul ball. Got it into the dugout, then hit off the roof of it on the first base side, rolls on the carpet to Tony Taylor. So the count stays at 3-2. Dennis Lamb, who pitched so brilliantly, getting a shutout. His first major league win against the Expos is scheduled to start here tomorrow night. There's the pitch, swung on and missed. Tipped it over the plate and just above the knees. Second straight strikeout here by Woody in the second inning. That brings up Garry Maddox. All center fielder, good speed. Starts tonight hitting .310, his 13 hits. No homers, 3 runs batted in. Long-legged guy, and he can fly. Dave Rader steps out, and he wants Gene Clines to retreat a little bit in left field. Ontiveros, deep at third, just off the line. Here's the pitch. Missed inside with a good fastball at the belt. Ball 1. Wednesday ought to be a dandy here. Rick Russell against Steve Carlson. 1-0 Jennifer. High about front. He bounces one down. Ontiveros has it right at the back. Rifles the throw over to Kingman, and that retires aside. What an arm he's got. Good change by Woodie Fryman, and it's 3 up and 3 down in the second inning, and neither team has a base hit yet at the end of 2 innings of play. No score.
Well, whether you're planning to patch a small hole, or paint a large wall, True Value Hardware stores can help. They offer quality Red Devil products to make your job easier and help you finish faster. For example, the Red Devil flat pad painting kit features a special meter roller tray that evenly...
Boudreau here with you at Veterans Stadium in Philadelphia in a no-hit, no-run ball game on both sides so far. Can't ask for much better pitching than we've seen here, but it's early in the evening, isn't it?
Yes. Both left-handers using the let-up to their advantage, and Lerch has a curveball. Fryman does not have a good curveball, but he has a slider and a good fastball, but uses that let-up as a veteran usually does to his own advantage.
I've never seen him throw that change any better this year.
He's given it great motion, and that, of course, gets those big right-handed hitters like Luzinski and Schmidt a little off balance. If he can get around the plate and not put it up high by their eyes, he's going to be successful the rest of the evening.
All right, going into the third. Lou?
Thank you, Ben. Here's Lerch's first pitch now to Rader, and it's a ball high outside. No score. Rader, no home run, 5 RBI. He's hitting 269. There's the curveball, but it misses. It's ball 2, no strike. Lerch is into the windup. Here's the pitch. Inside, turns him right around. 3-0. Lerch has walked 2 men already. He's struck out only 1. One walk was erased in a double play. There's one high, and it's ball 4, so Rader starts the third inning off for the Cubs with a walk. Now, Woodie Fryman, and he won't be cheated out of any swings if Herman Franks lets him swing away instead of sacrificing. Fryman likes to swing that bat. Cardenal holding the runner on at first. Schmidt shortening up at third. Here's the pitch. Fryman's going to bunny bunch him for the plate. It goes to Lerch. Lerch looks at second, then decides to throw to Johnson covering first. He throws a let-up to Johnson, and he fumbles the ball. Here on the second baseman. It's a sacrifice for Fryman. Lerch is given credit for an assist. Johnson is charged with the error. So it puts Cubs on first and second. Nobody out for De Jesus. And And Venus Lowry now talking to Ivan before he gets in the batter's box. So the Cubs get a break here. As the bunt was in front of the plate, Lerch came off the mound very quickly, took a look at second base, and then I think Boone hollered first. He didn't think he had a chance to get Rader. And Lerch didn't fire the ball to Johnson. He threw a let-up, and Johnson missed it. First pitch to Ivan. He bunts down the third base line. There's a beauty. Lerch has it. He has no play. A beautiful bunt by DeJesus. Down the third base line, Lerch quickly off of the mound. But his momentum, after he caught the ball, he couldn't stop until he had crossed the foul line. By that time, every Cub had reached their respective bases. Rader at third, Fryman at second, DeJesus at first. That's a base hit, and it's the first hit of this ball game. And the bases are loaded with nobody out. And here's Clines at bat. First pitch, inside, ball one. So, the Cubs have an opportunity now to score a few runs. Let's take advantage of this situation. Lerch into the windup, ball one pitch to Clines. Swings and hits a fly ball to right center. All runners tagging up. Maddox is there. He catches the ball. He's thrown to the plate. It's way off target, but Fryman decides to stay at second, and DeJesus stays at first, but it scores Rader with the first run of this ball game. Clines drives in his fifth ribby of the year. It's Cubs 1 and the Phillies nothing. Cubs still have runners on first and second. One out for Bobby Murcer. So credit Clines with a sacrifice fly to Maddox in right center. Now here's Murcer at bat. Popped out. First time at bat. First pitch by the southpaw. Curveball low. Ball one. Fryman had ideas of tagging up, but then decided not to take a chance. Ball one pitch. Fastball inside. It brushes Bobby Murcer away from the plate. It's now ball two and no strikes. So Bobby checks down with Venus Lowry, gets his sign. As to the hit one. Lerch is ready. He's set. Here's the delivery. Curveball low, ball three. Kingman due up next. Ball three, no strikes to Murcer. Lerch ready. 3-0 pitch. Ball four low. The bases are loaded for Kingman. And what the Cubs need right here is a grand slammer. Lerch having trouble with control. That's his fourth walk. Ron Reed now warming up for the Phillies. Kingman struck out. First time at bat. Bases are loaded. One run in. One out. Phillies infield playing for a double play. Lerch is into the windup. First pitch on its way. Kingman takes that curveball high. It's quite difficult to pitch high to Kingman now with the bases loaded. If Kingman will take that pitch out of the strike zone, wait for a pitch that comes in the strike zone, he has an opportunity to sock one. He swings and fouls that ball off of the mask of Boone, the catcher. And that ball was about built high. One ball, one strike. Fryman is on third, DeJesus on second, and Murcer on first. One out. Here's time is called at the plate by McSherry. Now we're all set. Here's the one ball, one strike pitch. Curveball, pop foul, out of play. Back at the plate. So it's one ball, two strikes on Kingman. Two walks in the inning, one error by Philadelphia has given the Cubs this opportunity. Here's the 1-2 pitch. Fastball, pop foul, and boy, he had a cut at that one. The count remains 1-2. One run in. But there's three Cub runners on bases ready to score. if Kingman can get a hold of one. The shift is out in the outfield. Maddox is over in left center. Here's a pitch. Let up. And he swings and misses. Lerch with good motion to a let up and strikes out Kingman for the second time. So it's going to be up to Ontiveros to try to pick up his teammate, Dave Kingman. Ontiveros grounded out to Boa, first time at bat. Ontiveros levels that bat over the plate. Lerch looks in, gets a sign from Boone. Here's the windup and first pitch. Fastball pop foul against the screen. Back of the plate, strike one. Cubs lead 1-0. Now the one-strike pitch. Fastball high and outside. 1-1 to count. Lerch gets his sign. Here's the 1-1 pitch. Curveball, swinger lines eye foul. Down to left field line. Ontiveros out in front of that curveball and lined it foul down the left field line. Murcer returns to first base. DeJesus at second and Woodie Fryman at third. Here's the 1-ball, 2-strike pitch. Fastball pop foul as Ontiveros guarding that plate. Rader opened up the inning with a walk, and on Fryman's sacrifice, Johnson dropped Lerch's throw. Both runners safe. DeJesus bunted down the third baseline for a base hit. And Clines slide out to Maddox to score the only Cub run thus far. Here's the pitch to Ontiveros. High let up. Way outside on that one. And it's 2-2. Reed continues to warm up in the Phillies bullpen. The 2-2 pitch to Ontiveros. Curveball popped up. Left field. Maddox and Luzinski there. Maddox calls Luzinski off of it and makes the catch for the out. So the Phils escape a lot of trouble here in the top of the third inning, with the Cubs only scoring one run after getting the bases loaded and nobody out. One hit, one error in the inning, 3 men left on the bases. Phillies come to bat third inning. It's Cubs 1, Phillies nothing.
Highland's Old Style, the legendary beer from God's country, is a beer brewed with sparkling, pure Wisconsin spring water in a traditional old world way of pure brewing, double brewing, called poisoning. Poisoning is the most natural way to brew beer and the most expensive. Most expensive because it takes more time. Heileman's Old Style is one American premium beer that's fully poisoned, naturally carbonated. Poisoning is what makes Old Style a great light beer. Try Old Style and taste the difference poisoning makes. Old Style, pure brewed in God's country. Heileman Brewing Company, La Crosse, Wisconsin.
Boone will be followed by Martin and then Lerch here in the third inning. Boone is batting .200. He has 2 home runs, 5 RBIs. Cubs lead 1-0. Woodie Fryman on the mound. Woodie gets his sign from Rader now. Ready to pitch to Boone. Ontiveros guarding that third base line. First pitch on its way. There's a slider or curveball for a strike call. Woodie is a fast worker. Fastball outside. He has several speeds to that fastball, and he has a little sinker along with it. There's a slider and a swing, a little grouper in right field. In comes Murcer. It goes in front of him. It gets beyond him. It goes to the screen. This may be an inside the park home run. Murcer just picking the ball up. They're going to hold
what DeMars was looking at was Trillo out there as the cutoff man, and he has a lot of respect for his arm, but he couldn't get to it. But DeMars, thinking that with nobody out, he'd better play it safe. And he held up Boone at third for a triple. The ball was a Texas leaguer into right field. Murcer did not give up on the ball, and then, as it was like a dying quail, it dropped quickly, and he knew that he couldn't make the catch. He tried to block it, but it got beyond him and went all the way to the wall at the 3:30 marker in right field, and Boone is on third with nobody out. Martin the hitter. Martin's hitting 167. Swing and a foul on the first pitch, strike one. That's what I hate about these artificial surfaces. There's no way in the world on natural grass that's anything more than a little fluke single.
This is right. True. Changes the ball game entirely. Cubs infield, shortstop and second baseman back. Ontiveros and Kingman, and on the corners in. The next pitch is high. 1-1 to count for Martin, who has 2 RBI. That was the first hit off Fryman. A bloop triple. The pitch to Martin, lit up. Outside. And it looked like that was a little screwball.
Yeah.
But he come up and over on. And now the count is ball 2, strike 1. Now Cubs infield playing halfway. Here's the pitch. Swing and a foul as he just tried to meet that ball, driving past Kingman, but he fouls it into the Phillies dugout. 2-2 the count on Martin. Lerch is due up next, so this is the man that Fryman has to work extra hard on, try to get out, and then retire the pitcher. Without any run scoring, that is. Ball 2, strike 2. Fryman is ready. He's into the windup. The pitch on its way. Swing and a miss. He gets Martin on a good fastball as he fouled that ball right into the glove of Dave Rader. A big strikeout. That's the third strikeout for Fryman. And now, here's Lerch at bat. Lerch is hitting 167. 1 hit, 6 times at bat. He's a left-handed hitter. So if Fryman can get back-to-back strikeouts here, he'll have to work on Jose Cardenal. The Cub infield now, I would say, in. First pitch by Fryman. Outside fastball, ball 1. Clines shallow and left. Fryman's into the windup. Here's the ball 1 pitch to Lerch. It's high, ball 2. He's behind him, 2-0. Boone is on third base with 1 out. Cubs lead 1-0. Third inning. Ball 2, no strike pitch. There's a strike call, a slider, as Rader called for the breaking pitch. Fryman missed the 2 fastballs, so Rader called with a slider. Fryman gets it in there for a strike. Here's the 2-1 pitch to Lerch. Another slider, and he taps that one foul. Now, reach back for a little extra. As Fryman came in to get another baseball from McCherry, he calls Rader out from the plate. Now, at times, a pitcher will do this, a veteran like Fryman, to try to move that catcher from his position behind the plate. Perhaps a habit of Rader is to move in or to move out on certain pitches. So Fryman, the veteran, will tell him either to stay put behind the plate or to move one way or the other. We'll find out. Here's the big pitch. 2-2 pitch to Lerch. Sidearms it. He takes it, but it's inside. That's the first sidearm pitch that Fryman has thrown tonight, but he missed. He had Lerch taking the pitch as he was backing away from the plate. 3-2. The windup, 3-2 pitch. Oh dear, he hit one deep to right field. Way back it could be. This is the foul. A home run by Lerch on a 3-2 fastball, and he gives himself a 2-1 lead. Major League home run. And let me tell you, there was no fluke about it. He hit it right next to the 371-foot marker into the bullpen. It's Phillies 2, Cubs 1. Here's Cardenal at bat. His first Major League home run. And let me tell you, there was no fluke about it. He hit it right next to the 371-foot marker into the bullpen. It's Phillies 2, Cubs 1. Here's Cardenal at bat. Oh, I'm sorry. Yes, that was his first home run, his 12th Major League hit. Gives himself a 2-1 lead. Second home run put up by Fryman. The pitch to Cardenal led up. It's low, and now the count is ball 2, no strike. Well, the Phillies have scored 2 runs on 2 hits. Cubs have 1 run. Cardenal grounded out to Trillo first time at bat. He checks his swing, but it's a strike. Over the outside corner. 2-1. It was the sidearm pitch that he missed with that was his strikeout pitch. Then he came in there with a fastball. There's one low. Ball 3, strike 1 to Cardenal. He had Lerch backing away from the plate on the sidearm pitch, but missed the corner. Have taken a 2-1 lead in the 3rd inning. Here's the 3-1 pitch to Jose. Swinging a ground ball deep hole at shortstop. The Jesus has it. Fires to first, and Cardenal is out. The Jesus robbing Cardenal of a base hit. A fine play by the young Cub shortstop. 2 outs now, and here's Larry Bowa at bat. Grounded out to the Jesus in the 1st inning. Bowa, of course, the switch hitter, batting right-handed. He swings at the first pitch. It's a ground ball foul as Ontiveros moves across the third base foul line to glove it in foul territory. A triple by Boone with a foul ball that dropped in front of Murcer and got past him. Went to the wall. A strikeout and a home run by Lerch, the pitcher, has given the Phillies a 2-1 lead. Next pitch, outside, 1-1 to count. Woodie Fryman in the windup. Here's the pitch. Slider for a strike over the outside corner. 1 ball, 2 strikes. Bowa set. Here's the pitch from Fryman. Inside and low. 2-2 to count now. Ball 2, strike 2. The pitch by Woodie. Top foul out of play. Let's pause 5 seconds for station identification. This is the WGN Chicago Cubs Baseball Network.
And this is WGN Radio Chicago.
2 pitches are led up in a swing and a fly ball to the center fielder. Cruz is there. He grabs it one-handed for the out. In the 3rd inning for Philadelphia, 2 runs, 2 hits. Nobody left on base. So, at the end of 3 innings of play, it's Philadelphia 2, the Chicago Cubs 1.
Good morning. I'd like to try the breakfast with the hash browns, please.
Oh, McDonald's scrambled eggs and sausage and hash browns breakfast with an English muffin.
What's the name of it?
We don't have a name.
You need Punchy here. You need a name Punchy quick.
Oh, you mean like Egg McMuffin?
Greg Luzinski.
McCain-sauce hash brown.
McScram.
And steak.
No.
The post-op.
The toasted muffin.
McMuffin.
McDonald's scrambled eggs and sausage and hash brown breakfast.
So you do want that?
I'll have that.
You got it.
Scrambled eggs and sausage.
Spend some time reading True Value Hardware Store's spring and summer catalog before you spend money on outdoor projects. Hi, Pat Summerall to tell you you'll find hundreds of values for your lawn and garden, like True Test Supreme Lawn Food. A 20-pound bag that covers 5,000 square feet is just $4.99. Or get an Arrow storage building and safely store things outdoors and out of the way. See these values and more in the spring and summer catalog and at participating True Value Hardware stores.
Well, in the top of the third inning, the Cubs loaded the bases up with nobody out and could only get one run. And what usually happens, the opposition comes in and scores a couple of runs. And that's what happened when Lerch hit his first Major League home run with Boone on third to give the Phillies a 2-1 lead. So now, it'll be Trillo leading off the fourth inning. Trillo walked in the second inning. Lerch looks in. Tall, thin, left-hander. Into the windup. Here's the pitch. High. Ball one. Cruz in the on-deck circle. Be the next hitter. Phillies play Trillo straight away. Here's a pop-up in the short right field. Martin coming in. He's under it. He has it for the out. One out, and here's Hector Cruz. Hit into a double play in the second inning by chopping a ground ball to Smith, and he turned it into a double play by firing to Johnson, and he in turn firing to Cardenal. It's 2-1, Phillies over the Cubs. Cruz swings and misses on the first curveball thrown to him by Lerch. Lerch was just one hit away from being removed from this ball game. Another curveball. There's one hit deep to left field. Stay fair. It's curving. Foul. Down the left field line into the mezzanine. Cruz got out in front of him. Got one and pulled it. So now the count is 0-2 on Cruz. Here's Lerch's next pitch. Fastball pops up behind the plate. It's near the Phillies dugout. Boone is there on the first tip and then falls as he was helped and aided by a couple of his teammates as he was on the first step, caught the ball, and then his momentum carried him into the dugout, but he was helped by a couple of teammates. So Cruz pops out to Boone, the catcher. Well, here's Rader, who walked in the third inning that started the one-run inning for the Cubs. Well, it looked as if the Cubs might score 4-5. He swings it. A line drive. Right back to Lerch. That ball went back to Lerch fast and he threw it to the plate. But the glove happened to be on the right side at the right time, and he gloves that line drive off Rader's bat for the third out in the inning. No runs, no hits, nobody left on base in the fourth inning for the Cubs. Now we move to the bottom of the fourth inning. Phillies 2, Cubs 1. Right now, the time to test drive at 78 Cutlass. Why? Because right now, with over 4,000 available in Chicagoland, you can choose the color and options you want with immediate delivery at your Chicagoland Oldsmobile dealer. When you test drive the 78 Cutlass, you'll discover how the new trimmer size makes for smooth riding, easier handling. And inside, feel the comfort and enjoy the space, because there's more headroom and legroom than ever. Visit your Chicagoland Oldsmobile dealer. Test drive the 78 Cutlass, and you'll discover what a pleasure it is. The Phillies will send their power against Woodie, Schmidt, Luzinski, and Johnson. In the first inning, walked, but then Fryman picked him off first base. Cubs, of course, play Schmidt to pull, and outfielders are very deep. Clines is in left tonight. Cruz in center, Murcer in right. Kingman at first. Fryman is ready. Here's the windup and first pitch to Schmidt. Fastball, pop foul, out of play over the Phillies dugout. Strike one. Cubs will be here tomorrow night and Wednesday night. Then move on to Atlanta for the weekend before returning to Wrigley Field next Tuesday to take on the Dodgers. Strike one pitch. Swing and a foul, out of play. Strike two to Schmidt. Montreal defeated St. Louis this afternoon, 5-3. So Fryman finds himself way out in front of Schmidt, 0-2. Schmidt has 10 RBIs. He leads the Phillies in that department. Swing and a base hit into left field as Schmidt went after that 0-2 pitch and lined it into left field for a base hit. That's the third hit of the night of Fryman. It opens up the fourth inning. And now here's Luzinski at bat. Struck out. First time against Woodie. Luzinski levels that bat over the plate. Fryman looks at Schmidt. Here's the pitch. Outside. Ball one. I don't believe there's any team in baseball that has the punch of right-handed hitting that the Phillies have, and the two that are one of the bat missed innings. The one who's already singled to left, and Luzinski. Luzinski fouls the next pitch down the left field line, and now the count is 1-1. Kingman holding Schmidt on at first. Fryman in the stretch. Looks at Schmidt. Here's the pitch. A high, long fly ball to deep left center. Cruz is back on the warning track. He has room. He has it. For the out. Schmidt tagging up at second base. Here's a throw to Trillo. He misses the relay. And the ball goes beyond the Trillo to Fryman backing up the play. So that ball was hit just in front of the 371-foot marker in the power alley in left center, and Schmidt, seeing that Cruz was under it, went back to first base, tagged up, and is now at second base. Luzinski just getting under that one. Missed it. Well, actually, he didn't miss it, but he missed it. We're not connecting for a home run. Now here is Johnson at bat. First pitch by Fryman, inside, ball one. Phillies lead 2-1. We're in the fourth inning. Fryman set, checks the runner. Well, here's the pitch to Johnson. Slider low, breaking below his knees. Ball two, strikes. No strikes on Johnson. Johnson struck out first time against Fryman. He takes one low, and it's ball three. Maddox, two up next. Schmidt with a lead at second base. Here's the 3-0 pitch to Dave Johnson. He swings. Hits a fly ball to left field. Clines is there. He has it for the out. So Johnson was given the green light on a 3-0 pitch and flies out to Clines. Now with two outs, here's Maddox at bat. He grounded out down to Burris. First time at bat. He's a speedster. He can move. Trio talking to Fryman now. The object was thrown on the field, and McSherry runs out to pick it up. And we're all set to go. Garry Maddox dribbles that bat over the plate. Fryman set. The pitch. High outside, ball one. 2 outs here in the 4th inning. Schmidt is on second base. Here's the ball one pitch to Garry Maddox. He takes a strike over the outside corner. Phillies with 2 runs, 3 hits. The big blow, a 2-run home run by Lerch, the pitcher. Cubs have 1 run, 1 hit. Fastball just missing the corner, and the count now, ball 2, strike 1. There's the pitch, lit up, popped up. Somebody's going to take it behind the mound. There's 3 guys there, and Kingman bumps into Ontiveros right at the mound, and standing there, only 6 feet from the men, was Fryman. But he did not call. But Kingman makes the catch. In the 4th inning, no runs, 1 hit, 1 man left on base. At the end of 4, completing the play, Phillies 2, Cubs 1.
Next time you have an appetite for fine Japanese food, go directly to Benihana of Tokyo at 166 East Superior in Chicago and carte blanche it. Benihana of Tokyo is one of many fine restaurants in Chicago where your carte blanche card will allow you to spoil, indulge, and treat yourself to the kind of food nobody can make at home. Dinner always tastes a little better when you have it with style, with your carte blanche card, because people know carte blanche denotes more than an average measure of distinction in taste. With a carte blanche card, you can travel with style, too. You can carte blanche your airline tickets, carte blanche your rented cars, carte blanche your hotel bills. Keep your card with you wherever you go, and carte blanche your way through over 250,000 doors across the country, including Benihana of Tokyo. Carte blanche it. You'll know you're going first class. So will everyone else. Woodie Fryman, who reached on a sacrifice and an error when Davey Johnson, covering at first base, dropped the throw from pitcher Larry Lerch, is going to be leading off, and that'll be the top of the Cub batting order. With the Phillies out in front 2-1 on Randy Lerch's first home run in the majors. Fryman, a right-handed hitter. And he takes the first pitch. It's a strike. In the on-deck circle, the leadoff hitter, Ivan De Jesus. Wind up fastball. He takes a cut and fouls it up against that high backstop screen behind the plate, and the count on him is 0-2. Woodie looking for his first hit of the young season. San Diego at Houston tonight carries a 1-0 lead over the Astros after 3. Tries to bunt this one, and he fouls it back, and he's a strikeout victim. The third of the night by Randy Lerch. Tried to bunt with 2 strikes on him. Well, he figured that was his best chance to get on. De Jesus, after grounding out to Cardenal at first base, open up the ball game. Laid down such a beautiful bunt in the third with Rader and Fryman on that Lerch could not make the play on him. It was just inside the third baseline, and it was a bunt single. First hit of the night by the Cubs. And we hope it won't be the only one, but so far it is. Takes that first pitch, a ball. Fastball swung on, and a drive to the right side, just out of the reach of Davey Johnson, and De Jesus has his second hit of the night. Got it just to the first base side of Dave Johnson. And with one away, Gene Clines, who drove in a run with a sacrifice fly in the third inning, steps into the batter's box. He walked in the first, so officially Gene has not been at the plate yet tonight. Detroit Tigers leading the White Sox tonight 3-0. Sox Park. Here's the pitch. Clines takes the fastball high. Texas Rangers, who finally ended their losing streak at 8 yesterday in the second game of a doubleheader against Detroit, leads Kansas City tonight 3-0 in the fifth. The kick to pitch. Curve. the outside corner, just above the knees. Ball 1, strike 1 on Gene Clines. And Cleveland earlier today, a winner up at Toronto 4-2. 1-1 delivery. Swung on at a high fly ball. The right center is going to be hauled in by Garry Maddox. He's there. And back to first base goes to Jesus, 2 away. Bobby Murcer, the batter, popped up in the first inning, walked in the third. That's when the Cubs had a glorious opportunity. Lerch was in trouble. They had Ron Reed throwing in the bullpen. Bases were loaded with 1 out. 1 run had come in. After the walk to Mercer, then Kingman struck out and Ontiveros flied to center. The Cubs had to settle for only a run. There's a swing and a foul driven deep down the right field side into the seats. He was well out in front of that one. Now, the Phillies were swept up there at Montreal. And that no-hitter thrown out of it, St. Louis. Pitch-out call for it. Jesus not going. Ozark's skipper of the Phillies, still a pretty calm guy. Got a mature ball club and a good one. There's a swing and a foul. Good fastball up and in on Mercer. Ball 1, strike 2 on Bobby. Stark says there's no sense in thinking about anything but the division championship. If you don't concentrate on that, you're never going to get the chance to go any higher. Good lead by the Jesus. And Lerch decides you better drive him back with a throw over there to Cardenal. This is Jose's second start in this young season for the Phillies at first base. Kick in the pitch. He swings and a liner to the second baseman, Davey Johnson. A two-handed catch hit high. The Cubs in the 5th inning. No runs, 1 hit. 1 man left on the bases. The Phillies come to bat at Veterans Stadium at the bottom of the 5th inning. It'll be the bottom third of the batting order. Philadelphia still leading 2-1. General Finance, friendly Bob Adams.
Danny Breen here, Bob. I'm calling from the Clam and Yam restaurant.
What's all the commotion?
Oh, well, my mother-in-law is a dead ringer for a movie star, Bob.
Really?
Yeah, everywhere we go, people start screaming.
Must be an amazing resemblance. Who does she
Last
look like?
night, some guy tried to put his hairy paws on her.
Oh, boy, who did
So, Bob, can I get a medical loan?
She got hurt?
No, Mom agreed to some minor cosmetic surgery just to change her look.
Well, I'm sure we can arrange a medical loan, but,
Maybe she'll come out looking like Raquel or Farrah, or I'd even settle for Lassie.
Which movie star does she look like?
Did you ever see the movie King Kong?
I'll get started in that loan, Dan.
Thanks, Bob.
You can always get a little help
Get off the piano.
from a friend at General Finance.
There are 70 General Finance Chicago area offices. Call General Finance's friendly Bob Adams to borrow up to $10,000. Call Hanover 32020. Also an office in Fox Lake.
As a result of the Montreal victories this afternoon, their 5th in a row, they now lead the Cubs at this moment by 1 full game in the Eastern Division of the National League. And they lead these Phillies by 2.5. Pittsburgh at Shea Stadium tonight, leading the New York Mets 2-0 after 5. Bob Myrick has replaced Pat Zachary on the hill for the Mets, going against left-hander Jim Rooker. First pitch. Ball into the dirt to Bob Boone. Ball 1. The veteran catcher. Drove in more runs last year against the Cubs than any other team in the league. 11. 1-0 pitch. Swung on and a drive into left field. Clines cutting on. And ball drops in front of him. He smothers it on the chest high hop, and Boone is on with a soft single to left. In the 4th inning, Mike Schmidt opened up with a base hit. Got as far as second, and that was it. But Boone, who opened up the 3rd with a little blooper into right field. And Mercer coming on, trying to get it. Jumped as high as he could go to smother it, but it still eluded him on that carpet, and it wound up a triple. And Randy Lerch, in a 3-2 pitch, homered over the right field wall. Now Jerry Martin. Playing in right field tonight, steps in, the right-hander swings, gets under it, hits one high and deep to Clines in left field, back to the warning track, back to the ball. He's got it right in front of the Cub bullpen. Runner at first tags, and he goes to second after the catch.
Now, you very seldom
ball a ride at the end.
You very seldom see men tagging up at first base and going to second on fly balls to left field or center field. But that's an indication of how deep those fly balls are hit, and I'm quite sure that Ozark has worked on that. That's one of the advantages of playing at home, that he's worked on that considerably already. They've done it twice in this ball game to put men in scoring position.
Schmidt did it on Luzinski's shot to Cruz back on the warning track in the fourth, and now Boone on Jerry Martin. Here's a swing by Lerch, and he's got himself a deep drive right center field, going for extra bases. A runner scoring. Here comes Boone sliding across the plate, and Lerch has batted in all three Philadelphia runs. They lead by a pair. A two-run homer for the Philadelphia pitcher, and now a long double to right center field.
Left-handed hitting pitchers aren't supposed to do that against left-handed southpaw pitchers.
Could be bigger than Woodie's just going to be coming in there with a strike to him, and he was ready. That's that 3-2 pitch. Well, the guys in this lineup that you fear, the pitcher certainly should not be one of them. He's doing all the damage. Boone in the dugout for the run. Randy Lerch has replaced him at second base. Here's Jose Cardenal. Grounded to Trillo. Robbed of a base hit by De Jesus. Little guy takes a fastball low. Ball one. At the Veterans Stadium last year, the Cubs beat the Phillies 5, lost 4 here. The kick to pitch. Takes it high and tight. Ball 2. At Wrigley Field, the Phillies wrecked the Cubs. Cubs won only one game out of 9 against the Phils in Chicago last year. 2-0 pitch by Fryman. Cardinal takes it low. 3-0. Woodie struggling. Giving up 5 hits, including a 2-run homer to Randy Lerch and a double to Randy Lerch. Here's the pitch. Recepted, but he took a strike right at the knees away. Gone in the 5th inning. Vince Lloyd and Lou Boudreau reporting from Veterans Stadium in Philadelphia. We'll be here again tomorrow night and on Wednesday night. 3-1 pitch. Cardenal goes after the change, and he pops it up to Jesus, backpedaling on the carpet, and the left side is under it. He's got it. 2 gone.
Change has been just about his best pitch tonight. That's true. His change has been his best pitch, and once he gives a good motion, and swing again. So you have to prepare yourself for the fastball. That's one pitch that he can throw past you.
Now Larry Bowa, the batter. 0 for 2 tonight. Batting right-handed. He takes a cut and he bounces it foul. Back out of play. He hit for a higher average against the Cubs last year than against any other team. 351. But the Phils as a team a year ago chewed up Cubs pitching. It's 310, including 24 homers and 70 runs batted in. There's a swing, and he hits a shot foul on the third base side. They hit for a higher average, hit more homers, drove in more runs against the Cubs last year than against any other team in the league. Let's hope this year is going to be different. And a count of 0-2 with 2 out, a runner at second. Here's the pitch. Fastball was high, and he put the bat out there and couldn't get it back in time. He fouled it. And the count stays at 0-2. Yankees and Baltimore at the end of 4. No score. Here, it's Philadelphia 3, the Cubs 1. Bottom of the 5th. Fryman has his stride. Checks the runner at second. Here's the pitch. Bowa swings at a bouncing foul on the third base side. With a veteran coach, Billy DeMars. Bob Watson has just given the Houston Astros a 3-1 lead over San Diego with his second home run of the year. Watson has 3-run homers in the bottom of the 4th off Dave Rader. Philadelphia going to be here for a long homestand in the next couple of weeks. They have 2 games away from here and then 16 at home. They're awfully tough at this ballpark. They're tough everywhere, but tougher than ever here. Fastball, and he wasted it away. Ball 1, strike 2 with 2 out. Here comes. This for the curve low and inside. Ball 2, strike 2 now on Bowa. At the end of 5, leads the Mets 2-0. Here's the pitch. Bowa looks at the ball very low. Well, he was up in front of him. Now the count is full with 2 away. Woodie into the stretch. Here's the 3-2 pitch. Swung out. He slaps one down the third base side. Ontiveros has it. One throw, a big stretch by Kingman. He used all of his 6 feet 7 that time, stretching way out towards right center field, and somehow managed to keep a foot in the bag while taking that throw from Ontiveros, and Bowa is out. And a very fine play by Dave Kingman. Side is retired with 1 run on 2 hits. 1 man left on the bases. At the end of 5, Cubs coming to bat. It'll be Kingman to lead off with the score still. The Phillies 3 and the Cubs 1.
Wouldn't it be great if all you had to do to help your tomato plants grow was water them? Hi, Pat Summerall, the Ted True Value Hardware Stores, offer tomato guard fencing that eliminates the bother and work of staking and tying each plant. Just put 48-inch high tomato guard around your tomatoes when you plant them for the support they need to reach lush, ripe maturity. And each 30-foot roll of tomato guard can cage 6 plants. Get tomato guard at participating True Value Hardware Stores.
What is it?
The hash browns pie. Hash browns.
Some people don't know McDonald's hash brown when they see it. They are funny looking.
But they're delicious.
Well, I didn't ask delicious. I figured delicious. This is McDonald's. I'll have some.
You're ready to smile.
McDonald's hash browns. Crisp and golden on the outside, tender on the inside.
It's like a world famous pie.
But still funny looking.
It's only at breakfast.
Randy Lerch will face Kingman, Ontiveros, Trillo, and maybe a half a dozen more Cubs here. As we move into the 6th inning, but before Kingman steps in, let's pause a moment for station identification. This is the WGN Chicago Cubs Baseball Network. And this is WGN Radio Chicago. Rick Monday's fantastic start. 380 average, 8 home runs, 3 away from the record for homers in the month of April. 19 runs batted in. And Butch Hobson of Boston. They're idle tonight. He's moving in on 1. He's driven in at least 1 run in 10 straight games for the Red Sox. And a major league record. At least 1 run batted in or more in 12 straight games. That Boston ball club has a powerful lineup. And more so when they're in Fenway Park than on the road. First pitch to Dave Kingman, and a swing and a miss on a breaking ball. He fanned him twice tonight. Used the change on him very effectively. Left-hander delivers. There's a swing and a bouncing foul down the third base side. Peanut Flowery with a nifty grab of it. Luzinski is way over near the foul line in left field. Maddox is way over in the left center field. And Martin is beyond the line between second and third. There's a swing and a change and a tap on the third base side. Mike Schmidt has it. Kingman running hard, but he can't get there in time. Mike Schmidt, the Golden Glove winner at third. on a tough play. Slow tap. Makes the play on it. Well, on grass, that wouldn't have gotten there. No, it wouldn't have. Would have been able to make it.
Kingman had a late start at the plate, but I don't think he'd have beat it out anyhow.
Well, he got him way out in front with that one again. Here's Ontiveros, who's grounded out and flied to center. First pitch to him. Half swing on a fastball that bounces foul. I don't think I've ever seen a ball club against us so far this year play that outfield a little against Kingman the way the Phillies did.
No, that's an outfield shift.
Yeah. Lerch is ready, and the left-hander misses outside. Ball one, strike one to Steve Ontiveros. That's only 4 hits so far this year. Here's the pitch to him. Fastball, high fly ball to the right fielder. Going back is Jerry Martin. He's there. Makes the catch shoulder high, and there's 2 gone in the 6th inning. That brings up Manny Trillo. Walked in the 2nd, was rubbed out on a double play ball, led off the 4th inning, flying out to Martin in right. Hector now batting in the bottom of the 7th inning. And they're up to something. Jim Bibby has come on in relief for the Pirates. And Grant Jackson has come on. All in the 7th inning. It was 2-0 Pittsburgh. Wind up. Fastball. Then he takes a strike. Belt high away. Lerch is ready. Another fastball, and he just missed that spot that time outside. What do you got there, Lou?
They're giving us the scores now by the innings. Houston still leads San Diego 3-1 at the end of 5.
Sometimes we get 2 or 3 innings at a time. Sometimes you don't get anything. With the curve that missed. Ball 2, strike 1. The swing and a tap foul right in front of the plate. Bounced out in front of it.
This fellow's making a believer out of me. I didn't think he was this good a pitcher.
I tell you, he didn't look that good against us last year. But he's changed his deliveries here tonight. And he's been around the plate most of the time. Got himself a little bit of jam with some walks. That's the only run we've been able to score on him, stemmed from a walk. Missed with that one outside. So he's run the count to Trio. Ball 3, strike 2. Come on, Manny, let's get on. Maybe we can get something going here. Here's the pitch. Tried to get on, and all he could do is bounce it foul to skip past the Cub dugout into the low boxes down there. Jim Clines, slated to make his pitching debut of the season here tonight, or tomorrow night against the rookie Dennis Lamb. Lerch's 3-2 pitch, swung on at a fly ball. Martin coming in. The right fielder is there. Makes the catch one-handed, and the side's retired. No runs, no hits. Nobody left on. Cubs with 2 hits for the night. Front single by Ivan De Jesus. And a line shot to right field by De Jesus. Nobody else done any good against Lerch. So the Phillies come to bat in the bottom of the 6th. They lead 3-1. Going to lead off. He has walked and singled tonight. He's off to a very, very good start in contrast to a year ago. Right now, he's a .333 hitter for the year. That includes his hit tonight. That's a couple of homers and 10 runs batted in. He'll wind up somewhere around 35 to 40 homers this year, unless he suffers some kind of an injury. Right-hander takes, and there's the ball. You don't ordinarily think of guys with the power of Schmidt being fast, but he is. Not only fast, but he's quick. Excellent third baseman. Strong arm, a good glove, and he can get on and steal bases on you. 1-0 delivery. Inside above the knees. 2-0 now. Their pitcher, Randy Lerch. Done Fryman and the Cubs in so far tonight with his bat. There's a change, and he misses outside. Ball 3. They just may let Schmidt go after this. He wants to. Looks a long time, but Billy DeMar is coaching at third. Steps back in, stands slightly close. 3-0 delivery. Takes the fastball high and outside for ball 4. The second walk issued by Fryman. The first one went to Schmidt. And then he picked him off in the first inning to retire the side. Here's the bull, Greg Luzinski. Hit one deep to Jose Cruz in center field in the fourth. Permitted Schmidt to advance to second after the catch. He struck out his first time at bat. A throw over to first base to Dave Kingman playing there tonight. Schmidt back safely. Mike with 2 stolen bases and 2 attempts this year. 5 and 6. Will takes the strike away. Stands straight away. Feet pretty close together for the big guy. Holds the bat straight up in the air, and he looks at a ball outside. Ball 1, strike 1. There's action at the Cub bullpen. 3-1 score. Phillies' Randy Lerch has batted in all the runs. Here's the delivery. Lays off that change, and it just missed outside. Ball 2, strike 1. Will strike out a lot, but he'll also hit for a high average. Been 13 times this year in 40 official trips. 2-1 delivery to him. Swung on. There's a drive in the center field, a base hit. Schmidt is going to have to stop at second base as Hector Cruz charges the ball and gets it in. Nobody out. Runners at first and second. You see who that is in the bullpen, Lou?
Yes, I believe it's Moore. Johnny Moore. Johnny Moore.
Get the call in a hurry here. Let these guys get too big a lead on you. Davey Johnson, a right-hander, is fanned and then flagged to left field. Rader going out to talk to Fryman briefly. Maybe a little bit of a stall here. Let that Cub right-hander, Donnie Moore, to get ready. Network airtime, and the next night will be 6:30. And in Chicago, Lou and I will be out to talk a little baseball with you at 6:15. And Wednesday nights, and the same down in Atlanta on Friday night. There'll be no baseball on Thursday. Herman Franks has come out, talking to John McCary, plate umpire. They come up with more stats here than any place in the world. They've done a lot of research on Randy Lerch and announced to the press box here that he had 2 home runs in the minor leagues. That's going to be all for 38-year-old Woodie Fryman. He's being lifted here in the 6th inning with runners at first and second. The Phillies leading 3-1. We have a delay while Donnie Moore comes in. Let's take time out for this message.
Back in Milwaukee, Wisconsin, Burley breaking alignment, 91-19, West Burley, Milwaukee, Wisconsin.
Cub skipper Herman Franks is making another change. He's going to put Mick Kelleher in to play second, taking Trillo out, and Mick will hit in the 9th spot in the batting order. That means he's slated to be the 3rd man up for the Cubs in the 7th. And Donnie Moore, the young right-hander, hit in Trillo's spot as Trillo made the last out in the 6th inning. Donnie has been in 5 games, has picked up a victory. It's very well. He's worked 7 innings and allowed 1 earned run. Pretty powerfully built right-hander. He'll be facing right-handed hitting Davey Johnson. This is the shortest stint that Fryman has come up with so far this year. And this is 4th start. Of course, he cannot be the winning pitcher. Let's hope the Cubs can rally and he won't wind up a loser. Donnie's last outing was Wednesday at Montreal. 2 innings, gave up 1 hit, no runs. It's the ball game that the Expos won when they came from behind with 4 runs in the 9th inning, and Bruce Sutter wound up the loser. In addition to a victory against the Pirates, the final game of the series at Pittsburgh. Here's the pitch to Davey. Squared away for a bunt, but took a fastball high. Ball 1. He got a save in his next outing. That was against the Mets. But Russell picked up his first one of the year. Philadelphia runners at first and second. See whether or not Davey Johnson is still going to try to sacrifice. Johnny in the stretch, looks over at second, comes to the plate. Yep, Johnson bunts on the third base side of the mound. Oh, up! He throws, there's nobody covering. Here comes a run to score. Here comes Luzinski to third. And in at second base is Davey Johnson.
Well, I could see that coming on.
Yeah.
He had only one thing in mind.
Philadelphia runners at first and second. See whether or not Davey Johnson is still going to try to sacrifice. Johnny in the stretch, looks over at second, comes to the plate. Yep, Johnson bunts on the third base side of the mound. Oh, up! He throws, there's nobody covering. Here comes a run to score. Here comes Luzinski to third. And in at second base is Davey Johnson.
Well, I could see that coming on.
Yeah.
He had only one thing in mind. Forced the man at third. He got off the mound, quickly fielded the ball, but Ontiveros was just behind him.
That's a shame. He thought that Ontiveros would be over there at third base, and he didn't look before he threw. Down there, hit the pitching coach down there. Mars is any kind of a friend, he'd have caught the ball.
Yes, he would have. Unsportsmanlike conduct.
Yeah. I tell you, over the years, I thought I'd seen everything. I remember at Philadelphia years ago, and I think it was Bill Fall who was pitching, was it? He put on a pickoff at third base. Yeah. There was nobody else was expecting it. Least of all, the third baseman Santo was playing well off the bag, waiting for that pitch to the plate, and suddenly Fall wheeled and threw, and that one wound up foul territory down the left field line. I think 2 runs scored on it, did they? It was at the old Philadelphia ball.
The old Philadelphia Shire Park. That was a new play. That's Paul was thinking about, but he didn't tell Santo about it.
Garry Maddox now is going to be put on intentionally to load up the bases with nobody out. They credit to Davey Johnson with the sacrifice, and then an error on the throw by Donnie Moore. Permitted Schmidt to score, Luzinski to go to third. And that one is very, very high. Johnny obviously is unsettled. What he did on that sacrifice by Davey Johnson. But he picked it up and threw to third base, and Ontiveros nowhere near it. He was close to Donnie Moore. Could have handed Steve the ball. Now the right-hander in the windup and the pitch to Boone. A little low. This ball game is in danger right now of being put away by the Phillies. Bases jammed. Nobody out. 2-0 delivery. Big swing and a miss by Boone, who wound up out in front of the plate. Look, he was going to use the bat to pull ball to the other side. Bob got a freakish triple, a little blooper in the right field his first time at bat. It bounced over Murcer. Then he swings and he bounces one over the head of Ontiveros on the third base line. Here's 1 run scoring. Here's another run. Johnson coming to the plate. And the throw by Clines into third. They have runners at first and second. And the Philadelphia Phillies are now leading 6-1. Bob Boone, who started tonight hitting .200, has 3 hits in 3 at-bats, has scored 2 runs, and he's just batted in his 6th and 7th runs of the year. Martin stepping in. Starting in place of McBride tonight in right field, a right-handed hitter. 0 for 2. That's low, ball 1. It's not a part of the overall strategy of the Cubs, I guarantee you.
A little bunt started the whole mess.
Yeah.
Well, it was started before that, but with a walk to lead off the inning.
Kind of had to figure maybe it wasn't going to be such a good night when there's a strike called at the knees. Randy Lerch, the pitcher, the thrill of his first major league homer on a 3-2 pitch after Boone had gotten out of that fluke triple. Then Lerch doubled and drove in another run of the 5th inning. It's a swing and a bouncing foul back out of play. Makes you begin to think that maybe this is your night. Mike Krukow is now throwing in the Cub bullpen. With a pair of hits so far this year in 14 at-bats. Runners at first and second. 1-2 delivery. There's a swing and a drive into right center field, and he's got his third into the air. It drops just out of Keller's range. Mercer charges in, picks it up. Runner scores to make it 7-1. As Garry Maddox comes across the plate, and over to third goes Bob Boone. As they say in the message board here, and the hits just keep on coming. That one barely out of the range of Kelleher as Mick raced out under the carpet and dropped well in front of Bobby Murcer. Standing ovation for the pitcher Randy Lerch, who has a 2-run homer and a double that drove in another run. But now the Phillies have a 7-1 lead. Left-handed hitter, they're going to let him swing. He looks at a fastball outside for ball 1. Obviously rattled out there. 2-0 to the pitcher. Fryman got behind him and finally worked the count to 3-2 in that third inning before Lerch unloaded over the right field wall. 2-0 pitch. Big swing and a miss on a fastball. This guy kicked a plus. Kicked a healthy swing up there. And 1 hit in 6 at-bats coming into the action. 3 hits now give him a .375 batting average for the season. Makes a swing on a fastball, and he fouls it out of play, way down the left field side. Wow, the Yankees just hit the Orioles with 8 runs in the 5th inning. New York 8, Baltimore nothing. The end of 5. Pitch for Lerch, takes it high, ball 3, strike 2. At first and third. Nobody out. 7-1. The Phillies. Runner at first goes, and Lerch swings and bounces a foul off his own foot. That's got to sting a little bit. Fryman will be charged with 5 of the 7 runs scored here tonight. Johnny Moore with a couple of them. But Donnie's very low earned run average. Going to go up. Goes over to first base. Watching the base runner there, who was taken off on the previous pitch. Driven back with another throw to Kingman over there. He's a stretch the pitch. Outside for ball 4. Lerch draws a walk. The bases are loaded. Johnny Moore does that, Lou. You know that he is very much unsettled.
Well, he was upset when he feels a ball bunted and threw wildly at third. He was an upset young man. I was surprised that no one went to the mound to sort of calm him down.
I was just going to bring that up.
Because he all indications when he threw his arms up in the air after he threw the ball, it's one of those things.
Now, with the bases loaded and nobody out, Jose Cardenal, the hitter. He's 0 for 3 so far. Takes the first pitch, a strike on the outside corner. Here's a stretch by Donnie. Boy, is he in a jam. Here's the pitch. Jose backs away from that fastball in at the waist. 1-1 on him. He spent many, many hours down in Florida, Cardenal did this year, at first base. The pitch. Low ball to strike one. Played in a few P games down there for him. Not exactly in throw playing at first. 2-1 delivery. Swung on, hit one right off the handle, tried to get to Jesus. A run will score. The only play at first, and he's got him for the out. It's now 8-1 Philadelphia. And Cardenal gets credit for his third run batted in of the year. Boone coming across the plate. Martin goes to third. And Randy Lerch is now at second base. One away, and the ninth man of the inning for the Phillies, Larry Bowa, stepping in. Good pitch. He hit it right on the handle, but hit it so slowly to DeJesus, he had to charge in and had only one play over to first. Bowa now batting left-handed, and he looks at a ball too low. Thrown out on a fine play by Bowa, the shortstop, and then on a long stretch by Kingman. They got him his last time at bat. There's a swing and a base hit through the pulled-in infield into left field. Run will score. Lerch is held up at third, and the Phillies are turning it into a rout. It is 9-1, and that for Bowa is only his second run batted in this year. Went to the pitch away. That's going to be all for Donnie. Herman Franks coming out of the dugout. Fired away his worst performance, spring training or during the regular season, and it all started when on the sacrifice by Davey Johnson, the first man he faced, he wanted to get the force at third, didn't realize that Ontiveros was not there. Ontiveros has come up charging for the ball, and he threw. Nobody covering there. Bernier, run scored. Really unsettling. So Mike Schmidt coming in from the bullpen. Still in the sixth inning. 9-1 Philadelphia. Let's take time out for this message.
Highland's Old Style, the legendary beer from God's country, is a beer brewed with sparkling, pure Wisconsin spring water in a traditional old world way of pure brewing, double brewing, called krausening. Krausening is the most natural way to brew beer and the most expensive. Most expensive because it takes more time. Heileman's Old Style is one American premium beer that's fully krausened, naturally carbonated. Krausening is what makes Old Style a great light beer. Try Old Style and taste the difference krausening makes. Old Style, pure brewed in God's country. Gene Heileman Brewing Company, La Crosse, Wisconsin.
Well, I'm just grateful though they can't spread these runs around over the next couple of games. That's the truth.
They're going to get hot now. This, of course, will key them up considerably for tomorrow night, the next night. After leaving Montreal, losing 3 in a row over there, they almost were a little doubtful as to how their fans would react tonight.
And they have been known in Philadelphia on occasion to boo the home team. Mike Kirko lost his starting rotation job, but signed to the bullpen, stepped in. All he has to do now is get Mike Schmidt to hit into a double play, and we'll get out of the inning. There's a swing and a miss on a good fastball that jammed the right-handed hitter. That's got 2 runs, the bottom of that 7th inning. Driving out Jim Rooker. They have tied the Pirates 2-2 at Chase Stadium. The end of 7. Here the Phillies breezing 9-1. Mike into the stretch. There's a swing and a deep drive to left center field. Cruz all the way back, all the way, gone. Over that bright green wall. That shot about 400 feet away. 3 runs come across. It is now 12-1 Philadelphia. Kind of pitching that's going to get Mike back into the starting rotation, is it? Second home run by the Phillies tonight, the other one by their pitchers. This one a 3-run shot, and the Bull steps in. He goes for a run, but all he can do is hit a mile-high pop-up in the shallow right field, and Murcer is there. Bobby Grimm. That's the second run. Schmidt goal last year. Got only 2 homers against the Cubs. Now he has 1. It's his 3rd of the year, and he's up to 13 runs batted in for the season. Davey Johnson stepping in. He's the guy that got that sacrifice. He swings and a little blooper out into right field, and Mick Gallagher races all the way out and hauls it in to finally retire the side. Thought it was never going to end. 9 runs in the 6th inning. Stage of that game with Pittsburgh. 2, 3, 4, 5. Hits including a 3-run homer, an error in the inning, and nobody left in the bases. Yes, the Cubs certainly do have their work cut out for them. At the end of 6, Philadelphia leads 12-1.
What is it?
The hash brown crab hash brown.
Some people don't know McDonald's hash brown when they see it.
Your breakfast major.
Egg scrambled French?
Fresh scrambled eggs.
Sausage, pork.
Pure pork sausage, check.
Muffin English?
Toasted English muffin.
And a funny-looking crispy thing.
Hash brown.
Perfect.
Field. Luzinski out of the lineup. Bud Harrelson, who has to be traded by the New York Mets. He realized he had lost his shortstop job. Harrelson is in at second base, and Davey Johnson has moved from second to first. Hector Cruz leads off against Lerch, and that pitch misses outside a breaking ball. Grounded into a double play and popped up tonight. Here's the pitch. Fastball, strike call. What research did they reveal to us there?
Well, that's the largest inning that the Phillies have had since 1975.
Wonderful.
When they scored 10 runs against the Cubs in the first inning. Barnum started that game. I don't know what they did in the minor leagues, but he hasn't said that yet.
They'll find it. There's a swing by Cruz and a fly ball. Cardenal coming on, and Junior makes the catch just high after a long run. Racing out there with him is the second base umpire, Bob Engel. And to exchange a few pleasantries.
Jose cannot pass an individual without saying hello or how's the family or that was a great catch I made, wasn't it?
One away. Dave Rader stepping into the batter's box.
I would say that's the only reason he just has a lot of fun playing first base, because people have to get down to first base and he's going to talk with them. All during the ball game.
Either that or catching.
That's right.
That's where he's playing now. Very shallow and near the line and left for Rader. Swings and he pulls it foul. Let's pause a moment here for station identification. This is the WGN Chicago Cubs Baseball Network.
This is WGN Radio Chicago.
Fastball low and away, and Rader upset with himself because he went fishing, came nowhere near. It was low and outside the strike zone. So they're 2 gone. Lerch gets his 4th strikeout of the night. Here's Mick Gallagher batting for the first time tonight. hitting 182 with a pair of hits for the year and a run batted in. Paid attendance tonight. Well, they expected around 20,000. Have to be happy because they got a little bit more than that. 20,115. Now ball off the bat of Mick. Strike one coming. So far, a lousy ball game. Unless you're a Philadelphia Phillies fan. I knew something would happen when we started so late. Our fellows aren't used to those late hours. That's right. That's the whole problem. 1-1 pitch. And George. We'll get him tomorrow night when we start at the regular time. 1-2 delivery. Fastball foul down the right field line. Rudy Carpenter, the president of this ball club, would still bemoaning what happened to his ball club up in Montreal. There's a swing and a hard shot knocked down by Lerch. Left-hander picks it up. Tosses one over to first base. He got a blistering liner in the glove up the bat of Rader in the fourth inning. And he's Johnny on the spot for this one. Hopper back to him. Well, the Cubs so far tonight have 2 hits. Both singles off the bat of Ivan De Jesus. And the score, Philadelphia 12, the Cubs 1.
I'll handle this, Carol. It's our first new car, and this salesman is going to come at us like a ton of bricks.
But the sign says we make car buying a pleasure again.
I don't care what the sign says. Hi, can I help you? See, Carol, patronizing.
We're interested in the Cutlass.
I don't blame you. Pressuring us already.
Can we look around for a while? I'm not sure about color or equipment.
Listen, just take your time. If you have any questions or you want some help, I'll be right here. Now he's ignoring us, Carol.
Jack, that salesman is a pleasure to deal with.
Well, he won't be here when we need him. Watch. Yes, sir? Nice place you have here.
Visit your Chicagoland Oldsmobile dealer today. Find out how we can make car buying a pleasure for you.
The new Cubs catcher now. Dodged fellow who doesn't get a chance to work very often. But when the doubleheaders start coming around, he will. You can be sure of that. The ball game, or you might as well give some of the fellows don't get a chance to play very often. The opportunity to exercise their talent. Mike Trucco, Cubs' third pitcher tonight, starts the windup. Garry Maddox, the right-handed hitter, takes the ball outside of the knees. Quite a few Cubs fans here tonight. There's a ball a little bit low. Ball 2. Like talking about Cox catching here tonight, Lou. 2-0 pitch swung out at a high fly ball. Bobby Murcer coming over, and he calls for it and grabs it. Talking with the fellows in the Philadelphia clubhouse before the game about Montreal, and some of our own guys too, and they were wondering how long Gary Carter is going to be able to be the Iron Man behind the plate for them. I've forgotten who they've got as their backup catcher. I think it's a rookie.
No, I really don't know either. I haven't even thought about it.
Barry Foote is now with the Philadelphia Phillies. He was with them. Here's a swing and a pop foul caught over there by first baseman Dave Kingman. Yep, he's playing at first tonight. So Boone has his streak broken. He was 3 for 3, 2 runs batted in and 3 runs scored. Base is empty. Jerry Martin was singled, scored, and drove in a couple of runs in the 6th inning when they scored 9 runs. Right-hander takes, and Trucco misses a little rub. He got it in for a strike to the knees. See here. Reese, I think, is the kid they're carrying up there. Bob Reese. Montreal. Jim McCarver trotting down to the bullpen, and the fans down there in the picnic area in the low boxes are at ground level gives Jim a big hand. There's a curve that's way low and outside. Ball one, strike two as he waits at it. Garry Martin, right-hander. Turco's pitch. Sox said they had him called out on strikes, was all ready to go into the dugout, but it just missed away, says John McSherry, so the count is 2-2 with 2 away. Mike's next pitch, a slow curve, low, ball 3, strike 2. Not a very happy night. Chicago baseball so far. Sox losing in their first game of their homestand to the Tigers. There's the ball 4. Well, they had Martin with an 0-2 count, wasted one. I think he threw one more fastball, and the others were breaking pitches, and a standing ovation for the Philadelphia young pitcher, Randy Lerch. He's not done too bad a job as a pitcher. He has allowed a bunt single by DeJesus and an opposite field single by Avon. And as a batter, all he's done is hit a 2-run homer, a 1-run double, walked and scored. Driven in 3 runs, scored 2. One-man gang tonight. Checks his swing on Mike's next pitch and fouls it back out of play. White Sox finally got on the board in the bottom of the 7th inning. They're trailing 4-1 against the Tigers. There is a ball club you better keep an eye on this year, Detroit. 0-2 pitch. Roll with a curveball. 1-2. Fans standing, they want this guy to take a whack and hit another one out of here. His homer over the right field wall, and his double was a long shot to right center. That's a ball too high. 2-2. Dillingham has gone the distance for the Detroit Tigers so far tonight. All right, come on now, Mike. This is not the budding Babe Ruth in there. There's a swing and a foul back out of play. 2-2. After Bob Watson's 3-run homer down at Houston tonight, San Diego finally tied up the game with a pair in the top of the 6th. It's 3-3, and they're now in the 8th inning at the Astrodome. 2-2 pitch. Fastball, it's high and tight. This is the 3rd time tonight that Cub pitchers have gone to 3-2 on Randy Lerch. I almost said, what the hell is going on here? 2 out, a runner at first, and they walk it. Ball 4. I don't believe this. It's his night, is it? Why dreaming up all this stuff? Get the first 2 men out of the inning. Then he walks the 8th man, Jerry Martin, after being out in front of him. Now he's walked Randy Lerch, the pitcher. It only happened in Philadelphia. And here's Cardenal. Got a run batted in with a slow roller to the shortstop in the 6th inning when the bases were loaded. Mike Rourke says, hey, wait a minute. That pitch was high. Mike just looks like he's just getting the ball throwing without giving any thought at all.
Well, he's not looking at the plate either. He's in the motion of releasing the ball, and his head is looking over to the dugout or to third base. He isn't picking up his target.
Word counsel from the pitching coach Mike Rourke, who now goes back into the Cub dugout. Runners at first and second with 2 away. And the Phillies have lengthened their lead to 12-1. There's a swing and a chopper down to the third base side. Steve Ontiveros has it. Goes to Kelleher. Lerch is forced to retire the side. Whatever Mike said worked. In the 7th, no runs. No hits, a pair of walks. They leave 2 men stranded. They've been complaining about all the men they've left on base so far this year. Tonight they've stranded only 4. And they lead at the end of 7, 12-1.
My car engine knocks so bad it sounds like a riveting gun.
Every time I accelerate, it's a pinging and infuriating me.
It doesn't need engine work. It needs higher octane.
Remember our first visit in here last year, Lou, to this ballpark, and our season. Bill Bonham started that ball game, went the distance, beat the Phillies, and that was his only complete game of the whole season. And I think we won the next game.
Russell gives these fellas a lot of trouble, Vince, so he's going to pitch here against the tough left-hander Carlson to close out this series. And hopefully tomorrow Lamp can come back after his great shutout and first victory in Chicago. This is something that I want to see because the youngster's been on cloud 9 the last 3 or 4 days. Now he's got to get his feet on the ground now and face these tough Phillies tomorrow.
Ivan De Jesus stepping in, and Randy Lerch, this is outside to that one. Well, this ball game is pretty obviously gone down the chute. Ivan has the Cubs' only 2 hits tonight, a punt single in the 3rd and a single to right field in the 5th. There's a swing, and he hits a hard shot. Backhanded by Schmidt. Long throw by Mike. He's got him at first base. What a play by Schmidt. That's one of the best third basemen going.
Yes, that's the fastest backhanded movement of a glove that I've seen in a long while. With that ball jumping up about chest high. Fine throw also.
Yes, sir. He's got a good arm. Very, very quick. Ivan robbed, and here's Gene Clines. What do you got there now? You're looking perplexed.
They gave me 1 run for Chicago in the 8th. Now they've taken it away from the White Sox, so it's still 4-1 in that game in the 9th.
I can't do that. Gene swings. He goes to right field, and he's got himself a base hit. That's 3rd of the night already. We're only in the 8th. It's Bobby Murcer. Line to second, popped up, walked. What did Kansas City do there in that 6th inning?
Kansas City came up with 6 big runs, so there's been a lot of runs scored in 1 inning. New York with 8, Kansas City with 6, and Philadelphia here with 9.
Bobby out in front of that one, and he drills it foul into the picnic area. Hit a jar of mustard with that one. 0-1 count. Lerch did the same thing to him when he started him out in the 6th inning. Changed up, had him out in front. Guess we should have known. Wasn't going to be too good a night. Here's the stretch in the pitch. Look out. Curve over his head. He backs down. One on the flight over here, the captain. The ship came on the public address system too. Said, sorry about this, but there's a swing and a high fly ball to Maddox in center field. He's going to get it easily. He does. Said, I'm sorry about this, but he says, we're having trouble with air traffic control getting us to a decent altitude so we can avoid the rough weather. He says, it's going to be a while. Just bear with us. Let me tell you, he hit it right in the nose. It was rough. I think he had to go up to 37,000 feet, didn't he, to find a spot that was smooth? Yeah, I think that's where he finally wound up. I think he was a little upset because they weren't letting him get up there earlier. Yeah.
We understand that we left some tough weather behind, too, in Chicago today.
Boy, it was nice when we left there this morning. The curve to Kingman outside.
They had storms.
Oh, boy.
And a tornado was spotted on the south side, right over Graff's Delicatessen. He's having a tough year, isn't he?
Here's a swing. Dave hits one down to Schmidt. He goes to second with the peg. That forces Gene Clines, and the Cubs are retired in the 8th inning with no damage, no runs, a hit, 1 man left on. We had a chance way back in the 3rd inning to blow this game wide open, knock Randy Lerch out of there. We wound up with just 1 run and left 3 men stranded. Oh, well, enough of that. Going into the bottom of the 8th, Philadelphia breezing, winning 12-1.
General Finance, friendly Bob Adams.
Fred Tripp's here, Bob, the man without a home.
Oh, what happened, Fred? Hurricane, fire?
Parents, Bob.
What?
They kicked me out of their house.
Their house?
Can you believe it, Bob? After 42 years.
Well, it's a...
So my wife and I will be needing a moving loan.
you both lived in the...
We're going to move in with her folks.
You sure you want to do that?
Oh, sure. They just love the baby girl.
Oh, that's nice.
They just think the 4 boys are loud.
Oh, boys will be boys.
These boys will be a rock band.
Must be very entertaining.
Oh, yeah. Shep and the 12 pups get so excited.
I better get to work at that moving loan. Where will you be living?
The south, the west, the north.
How can you live in...
We'll go wherever her folks take their trail.
somewhere. I'll throw you that loan. Oh, thanks, Bob. You can always get a little help from a friend at General Finance.
There are 70 General Finance Chicago area offices. Call General Finance's friendly Bob Adams to borrow up to $10,000. Call that number 32020. Also an office in Joliet.
Talking about Mr. Wally Graff staying down to the basement there while he puts his wife to work at the deli because of the tornado watch. Cubs fans here from Washington, the House of Representatives. Yeah. Either John Wilson from Downers Grove, Jack Strayer, Fred Upton from St. Joe. They drove down from Washington tonight to see the Cubs win. They're celebrating for Fred Upton's 25th birthday. They work for Congressman Dave Stockman. There's the swing and a little tap by grounder. There's one away in a hurry. Let's do this again. Larry Bowa bouncing out. Here's Mike Schmidt. Well, he hasn't had too good tonight. A couple of walks, a single, a homer with 2 on, 3 runs batted in, a couple of runs scored. Other than that, he hasn't done much. First pitch from Mike. Had it low, ball 1. Schmidt now has hit safely in 11 out of the last 12 Philadelphia games. There's a strike called at the knee. The final in, Lou. The final, Pittsburgh over New York. Pittsburgh coming up with 2 runs in the 8th inning. Defeated New York 4-2. 1-1 pitch. Swing and a foul out of the middle, Larry Cox. Pittsburgh still seems to be the ball club that Danny Ozark fears the most. Yes, he does. Because even though they lost a lot of name ball players, he still thinks that they've improved themselves. Mike in the windup. Schmidt checks. It's a strike call right at the knees and no argument from Mike. So Mike Krukow strikes out Mike Schmidt. 2 gone, bases empty. Jay Johnston, or Bud Harrelson, stepping in for the first time tonight, and he swings and drives one over the head of DeJesus, and even though Gene Clines was very, very shallow, he couldn't get to that one in time. So Harrelson, his first trip up to the plate tonight, on opposite field singles. That's his first hit of this year for the Philadelphia Phillies. Of course, he'd only been at bat officially one other time. Davey Johnson stepped in. He swings and hits a high pop foul. Steve Ontiveros is under it on the third base side, and he hauls it in. That retires the side in the 8th inning. No runs, 1 hit, 1 man left. We're now going into the 9th inning at Veterans Stadium in Philadelphia. All the Cubs need to do is get 11 runs, and they'll tie the ball game. Phillies lead 12-1.
When it comes to mowing your lawn, True Value Hardware stores can put you in command. They're offering a Jacobson 21-inch self-propelled mower with exclusive Pace Command for just $199.88. With Pace Command, you can choose separate speeds for cutting and walking to make mowing more comfortable and more efficient. The twist grip handle is another exclusive feature that you'll find on the Jacobson 21 mower. It keeps the wheels disengaged until you're ready to go. And the Jacobson 21-inch self-propelled mower from True Value Hardware stores also comes with a handy grass catcher that keeps clippings in their place. Get the Jacobson 21-inch self-propelled mower with Pace Command, twist grip handle, grass catcher for just $199.88 at participating True Value Hardware stores.
Boudreau here with you at Veterans Stadium in Philadelphia. And Steve Ontiveros will lead off this 9th inning for the Cubs. He's hitless tonight against Randy Lerch. Not only pitched a magnificent game after getting in serious trouble in the 3rd inning. The leadoff walk, a sacrifice, and an error. A bunt single. The bases were loaded. Nobody out. A but he escaped with only one run scoring on Gene Cline's sacrifice fly. Ontiveros goes after his fastball and fouls it way out of play to the right side. The Phillies are going to end their losing streak here. The curve low. Danny has not had to go to his bullpen, although back in that third inning, Lerch was close to leaving the game. The ball just missing away. Ball 2, strike 1. Maddox pretty shallow. Over in right center field for Steve. There's a swing and a deep drive. Cardenal on the run. It's going to be out of his reach. Bounces up against the fence, and Steve Ontiveros goes into second base with a double. First extra base hit by the Cubs tonight.
Oh, if we'd have had that in the third inning.
Oh, man.
It'd have been all over, and for the Cubs.
Bases loaded with 2 outs. When he flied to center. Joe Wallace, one of the heroes, and a big one in yesterday's thrilling victory for the Cubs over the New York Mets, steps into the batter's box as a pinch hitter. He is hitting for the pitcher, Kruko. Joe could make a pretty good press clipping book out of the stories that were written about him in just today's papers, sometimes in the Tribune in Chicago. Of course, he had 4 hits yesterday and made a very fine catch back in the third inning of that game and drove in the winning run in the 12th with his 4th hit of the day. There's a swing and a drive into center field. That's in for a base hit. Ontiveros will go to third. Garry Maddox wheels the throw into second. All of a sudden, we have runners at first and third with nobody out. Gar's picking up where he left off yesterday. 4 for 5 in that ball game. Here's Hector Cruz. Lerch with a breaking ball. Outside for ball 1. Phillies, who left 11 men stranded up at Montreal in game Saturday. Here's a swing and a double play ball to Boa. Goes to second for 1. The relay, they get the double play. They're second of the night. They're 15th of the year. Ontiveros scores to make it 12-2. They're 2 gone. Bases empty in the ninth. No run batted in on that. Boa to Harrelson to Davey Johnson. Larry Cox steps in for the first time tonight. At his first trip to the plate officially this year. The right-hander takes the ball too low. I think it's his first time officially or unofficially at the plate since the season started. Well, he looks at a strike right at the knees. He wears uniform number 6. Ball inside at the knees. Larry Lerch, in his third start of the season, 1 out away from a complete game victory, misses low. Ball 3, strike 1. And he has personally beaten the Cubs tonight with his bat. 2-run homer and a double that drove in another run. There's a swing and a ground ball. Boa tried to backhand it, but it's off his glove out to left field where Cardenal picks it up. And Larry Cox is on at first with what should be his first hit for the Chicago Cubs. McKelliher stepping in. That's hit number 6 for the night. 3 of them here in the 9th inning. Big swing, fouls it back out of play. Kent Jacoby got that victory in relief for the Pirates tonight. He's 2-0. 0-1 pitch. High. About the White Sox, what'd they do?
They got deep. Dillingham won his 3rd game. He's 3-0 now for Detroit. The Detroit 4, White Sox 1.
Rotten night. Here's the pitch. Strike call. Count on Mick now with 2 out in the 9th inning. Ball 2, strike 2. Lerch delivers and misses inside, ball 3, strike 2. Hector Cruz would like to coax the walk, but he'll have to protect the plate with 2 strikes on him. Outfield's very shallow for him. And that's ball 4 too high. In the first inning, Lerch walked Clines. In the second inning, he walked Manny Trillo. In the third inning, he walked Bobby Murcer, and he walked Dave Rader. Now he keeps the Cubs alive in the ninth inning with a base on balls, and Ivan De Jesus, who had the first 2 Cub hits of the night, steps in, was robbed of a base hit by Mike Schmidt in the 8th. Takes the first pitch, a strike called at the knees, and Ivan steps out in disbelief. Is that not a strike? John McCary says, I'll do the umpiring. You swing the bat. He kicks the pitch. Swung out of it. Breaking ball to him. And again, Lerch is 1 pitch away from ending the ball game. Cox at second. Kelleher at first. Strikes the pitch. Ivan takes a strike. Breaking ball to caught the outside corner. The ball game is over. No beefing about that one. In the ninth, the Cubs pick up a run on 3 hits. A walk, 2 men are left on. And the first game of this 3-game set goes to the Philadelphia Phillies, 12-2.